Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. In this video I've got a military figure, a World War II German Luftwaffe or Air Force general. This is an older figure set. I actually bought one not this past Christmas but the Christmas before, and it was an older set at that time. I wasn't originally going to buy it because I already have a Field Marshal Kessel ring, and I thought, well, another general, he really doesn't bring anything to the table. But I'm glad that I did, because he does bring something to the table. He had a couple of surprises in the box. So, like I said, it is an older figure, but it is still available at some retailers, probably on eBay also. And a lot of the loose parts are also available, except for one vital piece of his uniform, but there's a workaround that, and I will get to that shortly. So let's take a look. And I forgot to mention, they're showing him General der Fallschirm Troop, or he was general of paratroopers, and that's what you see on the inside in this very low resolution pixelated image of him inspecting paratroopers. So here's another picture of him. So we have him here in his service uniform. Nothing spectacular about that. Luckily, all his medals are already on, including his neck award and his ribbon bar. You do have to put the insignia on the jacket, as well as his epaulets, his general's epaulets. Here's his ceremonial sword. He's got a watch, tiny little gun, overcoat, shoes, which is a hint of things to come, a hat, and again you have to put the insignia on it, and one surprise is he's got epaulets and collar tabs for two different ranks. He's got one for the rank of General of Paratroopers, and that would be, I don't know if you could see that with the two pips on it. And then he's also got the insignia for the next higher rank, ones with 3 pips, and that would be a Colonel General, or General Colonel, I can't remember which one it is. Now the collar tabs are different for those, and it's best if you look online to figure out which goes with which. I don't know if I can do it justice trying to explain it. But anyway, so he's got 2 different ranks. That was nice. And then let's see what we have underneath. So we've got his leather belt with the shoulder strap and the holster. We got his dress belt. Here is the sword sling and frog. This fits under his jacket over his shoulder. And there is supposed to be a place here, yeah, where it sticks out, where this goes through, and you could hook. Then you hook the sword on it. So he's got a pair of gray cotton gloves and gray. I guess these are supposed to be leather. That'll be fun to put on if I decide to do that. And then he's got a pair of long pants. And this is something different. This is, at first, when I looked at the manufacturer's promo images of the figure, I thought this was just another jacket with the white lapels, but it's not. It's this double-breasted jacket. And this is a piece of uniform that was unique to Luftwaffe generals. This was called the special or short jacket. I don't know why it's called the short jacket, since it's not shorter than this one. It's always worn with the long pants, and it's never worn with a belt. If occasion calls for it, they would wear the sword with it. And again, it's got a hole there in the pocket to slip the frog through, so you can hook the sword on it. So that's to me, that was worth getting it, because it's all, for me, it's all about getting all these different uniforms and such. So to get this unique piece of uniform, that was worth it. So another thing worth noting, you can also wear the long pants with this jacket too. So lots of possibilities with this figure set. So let's put him together and see how he looks. So here's the figure in his service uniform with the leather belt and holster. And for comparison's sakes, I have him paired with the Field Marshal Kesselring figure. You'll see some minor differences in the cut of the uniform, like at the lapels. This was not unusual. Officers had to buy their own uniforms. They weren't issued to them. And they frequently had them custom tailored, so you would see minor variations in the uniforms. The other obvious difference is the color of the uniform. I know at the start of the war that the Luftwaffe had this blue-gray uniform. I could not find any information on the gray color, but I do know the Army during the war switched from a gray-green to all gray for economical reasons, so it's logical that the Luftwaffe probably had to do the same thing. So, and here he is in the oddly named short jacket, which, if you look closely, is actually longer than this jacket, so makes no sense to me. One thing to note is the piping around the cuffs. They did not have that with the other jacket. Now there is an error. DID did make an error on this uniform. You should see piping down this edge of the jacket that matches the lapel color. I mentioned earlier that this figure set only came with the one hat. Short of buying a second figure set, you will not find that hat anywhere loose. So the workaround I chose was This is the Kesselring hat. The Kesselring figure came with two hats, a gray and a white one, and it fits him, although in this pose I have him holding it. I did wonder if there were any regulations about which hat to wear with that uniform. I could not find anything, but I did find a historic photo of a large group of Luftwaffe generals out in the field. Some were wearing this uniform, some were wearing the short jacket, and in both instances, both hats were worn with each uniform. So there you have it, the service uniform and the short jacket, and in a minute I'll show you two more. So since he came with a dress belt and sword, I couldn't resist creating a figure with him in dress uniform. And I've got him paired with Kesselring and Captain Willie, who are similarly attired. This metal bar did not come with the figure. This is from Kesselring. On the plus side, the ribbon bar I was able to take off of this uniform and put on the short jacket. One thing of note, you'll see that Captain Willie and these two have different swords. My little book of Third Reich uniforms show Luftwaffe generals wearing both versions. I don't know if there were any regulations about when it was proper to wear which type of sword. This is the one that came with this figure, though. Also, one thing I should note is if you do get this figure set and you want to create a second figure to show both uniforms, you'll have to get an extra head and body, shirt, black tie, neck order, all these badges and so forth. All that stuff is still available. You can buy loose. So that's the one nice thing about this figure. You can still get those things. The only thing you might have trouble is the ribbon bar, but there are other ribbon bars you could probably use, and as I mentioned earlier, the hat. So in just a minute, I'll show him in his greatcoat. And finally, I couldn't let a perfectly good greatcoat go to waste, so here he is in that garment, wearing the leather belt and gun holster, sans the shoulder strap. The publicity photos show him also wearing the greatcoat with the dress belt and sword. Both the greatcoat and the short jacket have openings underneath this pocket flap that allows him to wear the sword with both garments. A few other things I failed to notice earlier. One, you'll see this cuff title. He was involved in the Battle of Crete. He was also involved in the planning of the rescue operation that rescued Mussolini from Italian partisans. The other thing on the short jacket is this enlarged breast eagle in white instead of gold like you see on the other uniforms. I mentioned that the figure set came with two sets of general's rank insignia. Both these two figures have the collar patches and shoulder boards for a general of Fallschirmjägers or general of paratroopers, whereas these two figures have the insignia of a general colonel. So anyway, there you have it. General Kurt Arthur Benno student, long name for a 12-inch tall figure. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for stopping by.